Hello, and a warm welcome to Living the Dream French Riviera, the podcast that explores women's professional journeys while relocating to the south of France. I'm your host, Cecile Liconnet. Today we meet Flavia, a career and transition strategist whose path has taken her from Brazil to New Zealand, England, Portugal, and now the French Riviera. Through courage, self-discovery and reinvention, she has built a fulfilling life and career abroad. Flavia, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to exploring your story, how your own relocation journey has shaped not just your personal life, but also your professional path as a career and transition strategist. Through your experience, you've gained a unique perspective on what expatriates face, and today we'll discover the insights you bring to those navigating change. Let's understand what brought you here. When did you first move abroad? Where did you move from? And what brought you to the Riviera?
First of all, thank you for having me here today. I am from Brazil. I was born in Brazil, raised in Brazil, but already in a multicultural environment. Speaking German since I was little, studying in a German school with many international neighbors from different countries. So I've been always fascinated about diversity in a way. The first time I moved abroad, I went to New Zealand. I was 20 years old. I had my first job in Brazil. I was working with international, like export-import in a German company, really starting my career and really evolving in my career, you know. But inside, it didn't feel like that. I was like more interested in going to the human resources department, talking to the manager, and when I saw the resumes on the table, I was so fascinated. I wanted to know who are these people, like who is behind this picture, you know? I wanted to know people, talk to people, and I was just feeling unhappy for some reason. I was just like questioning myself and what am I doing here, like working from 9 to 5 every day and always the same and so on. And I just decided, well, I need to go explore the world a little bit. So off I went, packed my bags. I didn't speak English so well. And I decided to go to New Zealand because I wanted to be far away from anything that I knew in my life, from any potential Brazilian. I really wanted something entirely new and improve my English skills. So it was amazing. I spent 7 months there. And that was my first international experience. I didn't have any expectation. I didn't know what I would be facing. I remember clearly when I was sitting in the plane and I was like, what have I done? What am I doing? Is there any way I can get out of here, like go back?
And so after 7 months in New Zealand,
yeah.
Where do you go? What do you do?
I went back to Brazil. And then I did a shift in my career. But that wasn't really something that I was searching for. And I think it's incredible how in life things suddenly happen when you imagine something. And then this neighbor I had, he used to be a headhunter. And he came to my mother's place and he asked me, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm looking for a job. And he said, well, come talk with me. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. He's a headhunter. Wow. Like I was like, for me, a headhunter was really like this amazing job, profession, you know, super important, and interviewing people for different companies and so on. So I went there, I was hired and I started to working exactly with what I wanted, like the resumes, the people behind the resumes, getting to know them. It was a consulting that recruited people for different companies in different sectors. I did this almost 8 years, like recruiting, headhunting, and for different companies, again, like every sector you can imagine. That was very, very rich, a very rich experience.
So what's the link then from there to here?
Well, I had a small shift in my career in between. Like I started also working with leadership development and assessing competencies and helping people develop in their careers. And I was increasingly becoming more and more interested in what really motivates people, what is really the driver, what are people looking for. And is it possible that they find a purpose in their professional lives? Because I saw so many people, they weren't really happy with what they were doing. They could be really successful. If you think about success, like, oh, you have a fantastic car, a fantastic house, but inside I don't feel happy. And that reconnected me to my first work experience. And I was like, that really intrigued me. So I was going deeper and deeper and really wanting to understand what was behind that. So I did a first coaching training back in Brazil, 2014. But I wanted more because that opened this door. And I saw, okay, so now I can see that behind this door, there's so much more. There is an entire universe that I don't know about, so many different approaches in coaching that you can go for, so many different things that you can do and so on. And I wanted more. And then my husband and I, we were in a situation like really discussing, is it really this the place we want to be in? Because the reality in Brazil is really complicated in some cities. The major cities, we went through very difficult things, like when people kidnap you for a few hours and then taking your cash and so on until they get the amount they want, this kind of things, and other very violent situations. So we reached a point where we really asked us, like, is this really freedom? And my husband had also lived abroad, and we wanted really to have a new experience somewhere else. So we were starting to think about it, and we thought about it for a few years actually before really making the move. So I was doing some research about other trainings that I could do to go deeper into coaching as well. So I decided to go to the University of Cambridge. We moved to London, spent there 1 year. I was doing my studies, learning a lot. It was an amazing experience that opened up so many new ideas in my like concepts, and the learning was incredible, was just amazing. But we weren't still feeling, okay, this is the place we want to spend the rest of our lives, you know. Then we decided to move to Portugal after 1 year, looking for more sunlight. We arrived in Portugal. It was a nice experience. But again, the same feeling, this is not it yet. I don't know, it's just something that you feel inside yourself. You just say, there's something missing. This is not the end, right? So this is not where I want to spend the rest of my life. I have to confess here that I was already a little bit fed up, because my husband was like, yeah, I cannot feel this is the place. And I was like more, let's try. Okay, let's see if this... Like, I was a little bit tired of moving and so on. He said, no, there is a place. I know there is a place. We will really know. We will feel at home. So we kept searching. During COVID, we spent COVID in Portugal. My husband suddenly came up with the idea, let's learn a new language. And I was like, okay, yeah. I was thinking about Spanish because I already spoke a little bit of Spanish. In order to improve it and so on. He said, no, I was really thinking about French. And I was, oh, really? Okay, I love French. I love the sound. I love it's like music for my ears. I was, okay, I'm with you. We started learning French, but we weren't thinking about moving here. We had the classes and we started to learn more about the culture, the place, the iconic places and so on. And yeah, so during COVID, suddenly the ideas developed. We wanted to do like a road trip, come here to the south of France and also go to Spain. So we booked a place for 1 month here. We came with our dogs, everything, like car full of things, and drove for 3 days, arrived here. I remember so clearly when I was driving on the A8 and arriving in Nice and I saw the sea. I was like, wow, this is just so amazing, so beautiful. We just connected. It was like, this is the place we want to be. That's it. Like we didn't have any question anymore. So we even changed our plans because we wanted to explore Spain after France, and we didn't. because we had found our place.
And your French had improved after learning French in Portugal?
I could use it basically to order something at a restaurant, like really the basics, you know. I had an expectation it would be better, I would understand more, but it wasn't the case. I remember clearly talking to the person we rented the place during this 1 month, and I told him, "Oh, c'est magnifique," and he was like, "Ha ha ha ha, magnifique," and I was, what did I do wrong? And then we learned magnifique. You don't say magnifique, and I was, that's so funny. We have been learning a lot since then. I'm not fluent yet. The fact is that we work from home and with many people from different places, so my main language is either English or Portuguese. I think that the language is such an important connector to the local culture, for you to understand how people convey the message, the words that they use, the tone of the voice and everything. So I'm so interested in this.
What were your initial cultural shock? What did you find versus what did you expect?
Since we went from Brazil to the UK, which is a major change, like for us, UK was like, wow, this is really fascinating, everything works, it's all beautiful, incredible. And then we went to Portugal. Portugal is more simple. Things are not really so organized. It's a little bit messy. Then when we arrived in France, the cultural shock wasn't so big because we were comparing with Portugal at the time. So for us, it was kind of an upgrade again, like being in a place where we were more connected to the rest of Europe. Portugal, I don't know why, but it gives us the feeling that it's a little bit separate from the rest of Europe. You are there, like far away, you know. And in Nice, I don't have this feeling. We don't have this feeling. You have Italy right here. You have Monaco. You have the Nice airport that connects you basically everywhere.
What's your professional occupation at that time in Portugal and here? Then?
Yeah, we spent 3.5 years in Portugal. I was working as a career coach, transitions coach, but mostly connected to career transitions. So when people are really rethinking what they are doing, they are looking for something new, different, but they are confused, they don't know where to start, I would help them to connect with themselves and really make a decision, what works, what doesn't. Imagine people are flying, they are like working, doing many things, and suddenly they just need a safe space to land a little bit, take a little bit of time and think about what they are doing. So I would be this safe space, create this safe space for them to really think about everything and connect to their values, to their life purpose, and then take the next decision and take off again. This is what I had been doing since Portugal. Here in France, we had a situation that both our dogs, they became ill. That was very difficult for us because they were our companions for so many years, you know. And we had brought them all the way from Brazil to Portugal and then to France. And they were really, really more than family for us. And both became ill, and last year we lost both of them. Yeah, one in March, the other one in November, and different situations, but really, it was really hard for us. And in the middle of the way, I lost my dad in Brazil, very suddenly. And I can tell you, like, that was a major shift for me. I was like so shocked in a way, but also like so open, like let's see what's gonna happen now because I've lost my dogs, my dad now, and so on. The other dog was still ill. And then we went to Brazil, and it was very sudden, and we had to solve some things here, but we didn't have this huge support network. I called a neighbor, asked him for help. He was like, "Of course I will help you. You don't worry about anything. Just leave it, I'll take care of whatever you need," and so on. And everybody was so helpful. I can tell you that that really, really moved my heart in a way that I can't even explain. And I said, somehow I feel like I need to give this back, because I know how hard it is to be away from your support network. I know how it feels to feel alone in such a situation, that you are trying to be strong, you are trying to handle things, illnesses and so on, and trying to be strong for your family as well when something happens. And who is giving you support in these moments, you know? And I feel that I received the support here in France.
Is this when you started to wonder how you would transfer your business?
As I was already working a lot with people in transition, life transition, career transition, I thought, well, I want to help whoever is going through a hard time when they are living abroad. So, like, I know for sure, and I started reading about it. I really went into many different groups and started to connect with people, and I saw how many people made the decision to live abroad, and suddenly they arrived at a place they were, oh, this is not what I wanted, what I was expecting, but I feel I cannot move right now because I'm stuck here because of the papers, or maybe I cannot really tell my family because they want to try, and I feel ashamed that I'm not happy here, because everybody back home, wherever that is saying, oh, this is incredible, this is a dream life that you have, and so on. And inside the person is feeling just so miserable and so unhappy for some reason. And I just wanted to, like, let's connect, let's create something where we can connect people with each other and maybe help each other. This is how Terra 8 actually was born. My husband and I, we were really thinking about what can we do and what's it gonna look like. And we are still creating it, but what we really imagined is this new continent where everybody's invisible. It doesn't exist geographically, but it's a continent where all the people who have left their homes, they connect because they have made a decision, they live abroad, they have a different life, and it's different from everything that we know.
Terra 8, what you're creating, is a platform to connect people, not necessarily locally. It doesn't matter where they are. What connects them is the fact that they live away from home. Is that it?
Yes, yes. This is what connects them. Should I call myself, am I an immigrant? Am I an expat? Am I a digital nomad? So who am I? What am I? And it doesn't matter. Like, if you have left your place of origin, you live somewhere else, and you can somehow maybe contribute with your experience, your ideas, or you are the one needing help right now. We want to create this network of people who want to be there.
Because often, as you mentioned it, being an expat is perceived as some dream life, like their life couldn't be better.
Yeah. This happens a lot. I mean, I see it with other people. I see it with myself. Whenever we go back to Brazil, people say, oh, but... And sometimes we don't even mention where specifically we live, or people don't know about the area, but they are like, oh, but you are in France, come on, like, you have the life that you want, or whatever. Like, they don't really understand all the struggles, all that comes with making such a decision, and also, like, everything that comes in a positive way with this move as well.
Do you feel the region itself adds something special to your work with all the expatriates?
Before I moved, I didn't even have this idea of working specifically with expats. Oh, so I'm gonna be in Nice because that's the place to be. It didn't work like that. But it can be very interesting because, as I'm finding out, there are so many expats here. As we are creating this community, we can really get a lot of people involved in this project and getting new ideas and maybe creating new projects from there. So we are really building and getting people to help us build this platform, this network that we are thinking about.
It sounds very collaborative.
Yeah. We want, because we really see people as part of this continent that we are creating. So our logo is all about these different colors, and each one represents a person who is abroad somewhere with different colors. Everyone has a different light. So it's not just about me and my husband saying this is how it should work. No, we are creating this together. So we all belong to this new continent in a way.
Would you like to talk a little bit about the struggles specific to France? You mentioned that you're not fluent yet,
Yeah.
and it's like, what are all the challenges of working here in France?
Yeah, so, well, one thing that we have been facing, I would say, is the language barrier for sure. So when we need some information, even when the professional who is helping us speaks English, but sometimes the information doesn't really connect at the same level. So what we are asking, sometimes the person responds is some information gets lost in the middle of the way, and some decisions that we made in the past were not the best decisions maybe, not really understanding how the system works, income tax, for example, how that works, or opening the business, what is the best way. We didn't have any problem with that so far. But, you know, it's interesting because in the moment you think you are making the best decision, and sometimes later on you will realize that, yeah, maybe that wasn't really the best decision. But it's fine. I mean, that's part of the whole package, I would say. Like, we are still learning along the way, you know.
Did you expect to pay that as much tax in France, like social tax and income tax, and all is about tax and VAT, and there's tax all over the place in France? Did you expect this?
We did in a way, but not the way it really happened, because in the end there were some mistakes. We ended up paying maybe more than we had to, or something like that. I still don't ask me, like, until now I'm not quite sure. And sometimes I think, well, maybe it's just like, forget about it, you know, just leave it. But even though taxes here are high, of course, like, you have many different things to pay, but in a way we are happy to pay for it because we know how much we are receiving back. So we are happy about the system, how things work here, even though there's a lot of bureaucracy. But everything that we do here, we start things and they come to an end. Like, things end up working, at least for us it has been so. It's not like papers get lost in the middle of the way and you have to restart everything again, and or something like that. So it's been working well, and I cannot really say with my whole heart I'm super happy to pay all the taxes, but it's okay.
You understand where it comes from.
Exactly, and I think this is fair.
What are the most common hurdles you see professionals face when they try to adapt their career abroad?
Well, one thing that I see often is that they bring who they are, and they want just to like copy-paste themselves to the new place and keep doing what they are doing. That happens a lot. And some people have a little bit a hard time to really adjust to the new way of how things work. Maybe things are not as fast, as quick as their country of origin. Some things are slower, some things they just have to wait a little bit. And it's really hard because sometimes you arrive in a place where you need to learn all these cues that everybody else already knows but you, and then who can support you to really learn how things work, all these invisible rules that you're not used to and that you have to learn. It's not just about your technical skills, your expertise, what you're bringing, but also dealing with people and making things work, working in a team, working with your manager, working with your own team. I had, for example, somebody tell me when they arrived in Portugal, he would just like arrive at the company and like hello, good morning, let's start, and people were so frustrated because they didn't want that. They wanted to have a break and like go downstairs, have a coffee together and talk to each other instead of just like focusing on work directly. So it's all these things that require a little bit of adjustment and getting used to the new environment for sure. I try to convey always a message: don't lose yourself, don't lose who you are, don't lose your essence. Of course, you will need to adjust a little bit here and there to what's going on around you. Otherwise, people won't accept you in the team. But at the same time, this person was hired for a reason. So, and it's not only technical skills, probably, it's something else. So, I always tell people, don't lose your essence. And sometimes they have to dig a little bit deeper. Who is this essence? Because when we move abroad, it's also about rethinking your own identity. So who am I becoming? Because Flavia, who left Brazil 8 years ago, isn't the same person who is sitting here right now. So I have had so many experiences back in the UK, Portugal, and France that have changed me, but maybe not my essence. And maybe all these experiences that I have been facing have taken me closer to who I am as a person. And I have left so much unnecessary luggage behind as well that I used to carry still in Brazil, still maybe in the UK, and I have been releasing stuff as well. So I think it's an opportunity for you to experience this transformation and get closer to who you really are and find out.
So looking back, what have you learned about yourself through your own journey of relocation and reinvention?
Wow, so much. I have learned that I don't need to worry so much about things. I used to be the professional warrior, if you can say so, like the person who wants to control everything. Are things in place? What else do we need to do? What do we need to think about? And I have been learning in this journey that there are things you cannot control. For example, finding a place in Portugal, it was like, it happened. Just like that. I was like talking to people, asking for, maybe somebody was renting a place and suddenly this person was renting a place and she would leave her apartment when we were about to move in. Same here in France. We had no idea that it was so difficult to rent a place, especially in this area. And I actually am grateful for that, because probably if I knew, I would be the one like holding back a little bit, saying, no, let's see for sure if we can do this, if we will be able to find a place. Because after we moved, we found out there's so much things that are required in terms of dossier, even though we had a stable position from my husband's side, but it was abroad. So that doesn't count in France, you know, all these things that you just really... Some things you just find out when you're here. And again, I'm really grateful for that, because I wasn't afraid. So I didn't know what I didn't know. So I just started knocking on different doors, real estate agencies, and like, who can rent us a place? Is there something? And nothing. And we were staying at an apartment that was from a friend of a person we got to know, a Brazilian, a very nice person, but that was just for 3 months. So we had a deadline to move out. That was a little bit stressful, but then again, like, things just happened. We saw this ad for this apartment that we are living in now, and we came to see it, and the person chose us, and it was, everything just was so perfect. It's not just about planning all the time. You can plan, you can do as much as you want, but some things, they are beyond your control. And what has to happen will happen.
Was there a defining moment when you thought, yes, I've made it?
Every time I accomplish something, I say, oh, I've made it. It's just like not every day, but almost every week there is something that I can say, oh, I've made it. There are some major milestones, like when we moved here and then when we found this apartment, and maybe when I changed from A2 to B1 level in French, this kind of things that really, wow, give you a sense of, but I think more than that is the little things on a daily basis when you have to call the mobile carrier to solve something and you say, parlez-vous anglais? No, désolé. Okay, so then you start speaking French and you end the conversation and you say, I did it. Yay, like, wow. It wasn't perfect, of course. I didn't understand some things, but I did it. I was able to solve something on the phone with somebody, so these things really give me every day like so much happiness.
Has living abroad changed the way you see yourself as a professional and as a person?
It does. For sure. I see myself more confident. I see myself more at ease. It's not that kind of confidence that I say, oh, now I know so much, I have learned so much. It's not intellectual. It's more almost like emotionally, I'm more mature. I am more like, it's okay to be who I am. I see so many different people. I have contact with so many different ethnicities, from so many different backgrounds, countries, and people are all different, and it's beautiful. So it's okay to be ourselves wherever we are. We don't need to try to fit into a box, which is what I was doing back in the UK. I was really trying to observe everything, like, am I gonna fit here, and what can I do, what can I not do, the social distancing and all the hidden rules, and trying to understand everything. And it was impossible. I was just getting so stressed out, so anxious. I really developed like social anxiety. I was really afraid to go out and talk to people because I thought I'm just gonna do something wrong. And then like over time and living abroad and realizing it's okay to be ourselves, that was just like such a great relief, and it has been still.
How do you think your life might have unfolded if you hadn't made the move?
Good question. I don't think I would be miserable, but because we also left so many amazing things, our families, our friends, it's really, but in a way I feel so much richer as a person. I feel that whenever I am in Brazil, with my family, with my friends, I am really there with them, because I know this can be the last time I see them. This is the most special moment that I can really be with them, because it's right now. So we learn that the perspectives, they change so much when you live abroad for a longer time and you see things so differently.
Do you see France as your forever home, or do you consider another relocation, or you don't know yet? This is open.
I don't consider any new relocation for now. I'm really happy here. I love this place. My husband also does love this place. Like, we really feel at ease here. And again, the sensation that we can be who we are, it doesn't matter. We don't need to pretend anything. We don't need to try to be something else that we are not. We are just who we are, and that's fine. And so we are super happy. And also, nature, everything that we have, the sea, the mountains, snow, all this diversity also in terms of what you find in nature is also breathtaking, so we love it.
Were you prepared of how international this area is?
I had not such a feeling, actually. I used to think it was more Paris, or in a way I thought it was more tourists coming and going all the time, which is also the case, but you have this huge community of expats living here, and which is amazing. I'm really getting to know more and more people every day.
You mentioned you have a German passport. You never considered going to Germany after Portugal?
We did, but we were searching for a place where we would have more sunshine. This was something that we really wanted. So Germany is not really so sunny as this area here. I really love Germany, but maybe not to live. I prefer to be here for a reason. I think this place really brings me an inner sense of peace that I was looking for, that I can be the best professional that I can when I am in this inner space of peace. For now, I don't want to change anything.
What advice would you give to someone considering turning their personal relocation experience into a profession?
Well, I think it's a great idea. Nowadays, you have so many possibilities to help people. Of course, you want to be mindful, if this is really something that you can help somebody with. Would you need a specific training, or is there something that you are really great at, that you want to really specialize in something very specific to help people with? For example, I had such a hard time getting my driver's license exchanged, and now I am a pro and I can help anyone. So go for it, this kind of things. There are so many possibilities that you can explore. One thing I can say for sure, that each person has their own experience. So even if you try to convey your own experience and say, for me it worked like this, for the other person it's going to be probably entirely different. And maybe something that you love about the place that you're living in, the other person won't care. They will care about something else. They have different backgrounds, they have different values, they have different interests in life. So it's all different.
Is there a piece of advice you find yourself giving every time to people relocating?
Yes, I always tell people, connect to your heart. It's not just a mental decision. It's not just information about numbers and lifestyle or whatever. It's more complex than that. So try to get out of your own mind a little bit and get into this space here, because your heart will tell for sure if this is the right decision or not.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to touch a little bit on the Riviera life.
Okay.
The Riviera carries a certain image in people's imagination: sunshine, the sea, and a glamorous lifestyle. Let's bring it closer to your own reality. Is life on the Riviera as glamorous as it seems?
It can be. It can be very glamorous, and it all also depends on what you consider to be glamorous. So from my perspective, a glamorous life is really a life where I can walk out of my door, be close to the sea, have a long walk in the morning with my phone, because this is not a possibility in Brazil, for example, because of safety reasons. I can go to the beach with my stuff and take my laptop with me, work in front of the sea if I want. Nobody will bother me. This for me represents real glamour, I would say. But yes, I mean, if you are talking about the pictures that we see, people wearing these beautiful hats and clothes and having drinks in their hands, there is also life like that. It depends what you choose. I think this is a place where you can experience whatever you want. There are options for everybody. which makes this place more interesting for me.
What's the most iconic place on the Riviera, do you think?
I think the entire promenade for me is amazing. I love the light when it's starting to get dark and the sky gets all this rose colors, a little bit of violet, bluish, like it's so unique for me. I just look at it, I cannot really get enough of it. Sunrises, it's the same. It's always a different sunrise. It's always beautiful. I have so many pictures of the sunrise. I cannot really say how many I have. Places I really love to go. Paloma Beach is very special. I love Paloma Beach in Villefranche-sur-Mer. This secluded small beach, and you have the walk if you want to go along the coast and just be in nature. It's wonderful. Then you have Negresco right here, which I also don't... I'm never tired of looking at these buildings and admiring the construction, the architecture, the colors. I really love it.
From your perspective, how do you see the region evolving culturally or professionally?
This region is already so strong in tourism, in attracting people from all over the world. There is so much opportunity with also different sectors, like we have Sophia Antipolis is there as well. There is still a lot to explore, I would say, in terms of business opportunities, growth.
Thank you so much, Flavia, for sharing your story and your expertise with us today. Your journey is such a powerful example of how lived experience can transform into guidance for others, and how relocation, with all its challenges, can also become a source of purpose. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you for listening to Living the Dream French Riviera. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share, follow and like. You can find more about Flavia and other inspiring women creating meaningful lives on the Riviera on our website, livingthedreampodcast.com. A special thank you to Claire Long, whose music adds warmth and emotion to every episode. I'm Cecile Liconnet. À bientôt. Wait a minute, let's take a moment here. This was episode 14 of Living the Dream French Riviera podcast. And there's only 8 more to be released as we approach the end of season 1. The audience is growing in a very unexpected way. You tune in from all over the planet. Some of you are already here on the Riviera. Some of you had to leave. Some of you are preparing the move. And some of you are dreaming. Season 2 is approaching. It is on my mind. And I'd love to hear your input. Would you like more about the backstories, more details on the professional side, the practical realities of making things work, or more reflection on life on the Riviera once the initial dream has settled? The balance between personal journey, professional reinvention, and Riviera insight is something I care deeply about, but I'd really love to know what resonates more with you. However long you've been listening to the podcast, thank you for being here. It truly shapes what this podcast is becoming.